Nobody tells you that walking out the door doesn't mean that you've walked out of the hole. I left the marriage. I did not leave the hole. So, after you leave a marriage or a relationship, people expect that the story is over, but it isn't. The marriage ends, but the patterns really, honestly, they don't get the memo. You still have these recurring thoughts. You're second guessing what you say, how you say it. Your body is still bracing for that thing that isn't actually there anymore. So it's this weird in between where you know you're safer than you were, but you still aren't living at peace because that hole isn't about them anymore. Now the hole is the version of you that they built, but you're still living inside it even after they're gone. So healing after the breaking of a marriage isn't a moment. It's actually like this hole that you've climbed into slowly and repeatedly, and sometimes while still falling back in. Somewhere along the way, something broke. A relationship, a belief, a version of yourself you learned to survive as. And no one really tells you what comes after that. This is After the Breaking, stories of what we rebuild after life breaks us. Because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. So welcome to After the Breaking. This is really stories where we rebuild after life breaks us. I'm Maria, and if you're new here, well, I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad you're here because this podcast was created for the need of healing after the breaking. It's the part that nobody prepares you for, and nobody prepared me for, to be honest. It's not the leaving, it's not the grieving, it's not even that. It's that after time where honestly there's like this quiet, disorienting, invisible work of rebuilding yourself when the noise finally stops. So that's what this show is about. And the show and everything I do, the work I do to support women through coaching, the courses I created, the shows that I have called Pain to Power, which is my produced show, also on this network, all of them are rooted in one foundational belief. Healing is not about becoming something new. It's really about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. So, if right now something in your life has shifted and you are tired of performing that okayness, and maybe you're in that season of after the breaking, you're in the right place. And if you haven't done it yet, please make sure that you subscribe. I'm producing this live today, so we are going to be a little messy at times, but still keeping it together as best we can, right? So make sure if you haven't done it yet that you subscribe, you leave a comment on something that resonated with you, or even something that maybe I missed that I should be adding into this conversation, something you want to hear about. If you are in this season of after the breaking, what do you need? What do you need to hear? So, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Again, like I said, it can be a little messy, but we're going to get through this, right? So first off, um, this particular episode is because I feel like I need an origin story. Like a superhero. Because sometimes I think of myself as a superhero. No, I don't think of myself as a superhero. Sometimes I think we often, and this is why I created the show Pain to Power, which is my talk show where I interview people, is that we see the end result of people, but we don't understand what they went through to get there. Um, and so there's this parable I heard recently, and I want to share it with you. There was a man, and he was walking in this dark alley one night, and he fell into a hole. And so he spent a couple days just like depressed and sad and crying in this hole alone. And then someone walked by and he heard the footsteps and he called out to the guy who walked by. And the guy was like, "Oh, hey, uh, I'm here." And he was like, "I'm here. I'm stuck in the hole. Can you help me?" And the guy writes him a note and throws the note in. And he says, and then he reads the note. The guy in the hole, he reads the note. And the note says, um, "When you get out, I'm a doctor. Come see me. I can help you with anything that might be hurt while you were in there." And then the guy walks away. So the guy's still stuck in the hole. And he's waiting and he's waiting and he's still upset and he's depressed. And he's like, "How am I ever going to get out of this hole? Like, I'm stuck here." And then he hears some more footsteps and another guy walks by. And this guy walks by and he calls out and he's like, "Hey, I'm stuck in the hole. Can you help me? What can you do? I just need some help." And uh, the guy writes a note and throws it in. And it's like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer. If you want to sue the people that got you stuck in this hole, be sure when you get out to come and let me know and I can help you out." So he's like, "What am I do with this? What am I do with this? I'm in the hole." Right? I'm in the hole. Can't go to a lawyer right now. I don't have a doctor right now. I'm in the hole. So he's waiting and he's waiting and he's waiting. And then he hears some more footsteps and he calls out again. And he's like, "I need some help. Can you come help me? I'm stuck in the hole." And this guy looks down and then jumps in the hole. And the guy's like, "What kind of help is this? Now we're both stuck in the hole." Like, right? That wasn't what I asked. I need your help. And the guy looks at him and he goes, "I know, but I've been in this hole before and I know the way out." That's my origin story, friends. I know the way out. I've been in the hole. Everything that I have created through Brown Girl Interrupting, this show after the breaking, is because I have been in the hole. And now I'm here trying to help all the people who also are in that hole get out. And this all connects back to this idea that I often talk about on my show, but it's a lot of times we have this thing which is like power over. We think about power. This is power with. And the idea of power with is that I am going to sit with you in this hole because I've been here and I know what it feels like. And I'm not telling people how they can fix their life. I'm reminding you that you've got all the tools inside you already. They've just been buried under messages of harm, under someone who maybe told you you weren't worth it, who told you you weren't enough, right? So that's why after the breaking was starting, it's because I've been in this hole and I want to give women and men and anybody who is in the hole the tools to get out sooner and quicker than I did. So that's why I do the work I do. But I also want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've gone through to get here, right? So my origin story really, okay, I'm going to start with this. I write. I'm a writer, and oh, we have a chat, but I don't know if anybody's in there. And really, the whole idea is that I write about the healing, and I started this writing in 2020. That was my origin story too. As I started in 2020, when many of us start things or started things, was because right where we realize something's needs to happen. We're sitting by ourselves in the silence, right? And so I was sitting by myself in the silence, and it was after the breaking. I had left my marriage. I had thought I was healed and good to go. And I even, after 6 months after leaving, started dating. And what started to come up was all those broken parts of me. The part that was struggling in parenting, the part that was not sure who I was. So I was still showing up in relationships, trying to please, appeasing, and losing myself and losing my boundaries I should have had because I didn't know myself and I didn't do the work. I was still stuck in the hole, but didn't even realize it until my life started to give me all the messages that I was there. And all this, um, it started from obviously, right, the 17 years of the marriage that I was in. That was kind of the catalyst of being in the hole and not having the tools. So I like to after the breaking share some of the writing that I do because my writing is part of also when the healing that I started in 2020 as Brown Girl Interrupting and creating a blog, which originally I just shared with about 5 friends and said, "Hey, look, I started writing." And it was inspired by someone that at the time I was dating and he was a writer and I was looking at his writing and helping him edit stuff and I kind of realized that, oh, I could write and maybe it would help me. And then I started. I discovered or I created Brown Girl Interrupting, which is all the pieces of me. I am a brown woman, which means I'm a daughter of immigrants from Pakistan and Bangladesh. And I grew up in America. So I've always been balancing what it is to be brown. And that comes into my healing, just like it does with you. We don't check our identity at the door when we go to work. We don't check our identity at the door in relationships. And we definitely do not check our identity at the door when we are healing and discovering some of those foundational patterns we've adopted and the foundational beliefs that we have that have been buried beneath what other people have told us. So, being brown is part of who I am. It runs in my blood, it's my skin, it's my features, but it's also what I believe and why I believe it. It's how I move as a mother. It's what's important to me in a marriage or relationship. So brownness is important. And then I'm a girl, self explanatory, right? But layered for all those women and men, because our identity and our gender, however we identify, is so complex because it's the roles we play. I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I was once a wife, and sometimes I've been a girlfriend. All of those are patterns, are beliefs, are behaviors that I adopted. And then I am an interrupter. So, interrupting is what I do. And if you've ever worked with me in any capacity, whether it is professionally in my day job or it is in the uh, production and this new version of Brown Girl Interrupting with my business, all of it. If you've ever worked with me, if you've even been in space with me as a friend or family member, you know I interrupt. I rarely stay quiet. I ask a lot of questions. I look at all the nuances and the complexities of things and analyze them. I'm an overthinker and an interrupter. And so that is part of who I am. And again, if you're just joining me here or on my live TikTok, which I've got my friends over here, right, on my live TikTok or on Substack Live or on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you are watching this on LinkedIn, make sure that you subscribe, that you like, you comment, and you hit the bell so that you get these notifications when I go live for different shows. All right. So, friends, why did I start all of this? Because I was in a marriage. And here's the thing about marriage that I have learned over this time is that a marriage never ends in just a moment. It takes many, many, many moments and shifts of your mind for you to finally make the decision to walk away from something, even if it's harmful, especially sometimes when it's harmful, because it's hard and it takes a lot of different moments. So I wrote this piece called A Million Moments, and it is so it's a combination of two things. It's me writing because I'm a writer, but it's also the actual real notes that were on my cell phone. They're on my cell phone for almost 12 years that I would capture in the moments and the evenings of the quiet of my marriage when I didn't have any other place to put the feelings and emotions I was having. And this is the just the excerpts. This is what I wrote. I took them from my notes and I put them into this piece called A Million Moments. And I was writing it to survive, I'll be honest, quietly, right? Survive quietly without rocking the boat, without showing anyone the pain, without speaking out, which is often what we do. And then as I looked back on it, when I wrote this piece, A Million Moments, I realized that it was the story of the dissolution of a marriage from beginning to end. So, first, go back to Substack, read the whole post, but I'm going to read just a tiny bit from you, for you, because I really didn't have any idea of what the impact would be, but it's been an impact. In fact, after I published this, one of the people who follows me on Substack sent me a text, and I was floored because she said, "You have written my story, and the words are exactly what I was feeling and what I had experienced." So here's where we start, right? March 13th, 2013. These are again notes directly from my phone that I captured because it was the only way I could survive. You believe I am selfish for working, studying, for not giving in to your whim for intimacy, wanting to be happy, wanting to spend time with friends, spending money on things that I want, making myself happy because no one else will. It's okay to be selfish. That's what it is. While I still take care of, love, support, guide, teach, and spend time with the boys, I should love myself enough to make my life better, enhance my mind, and enjoy myself. It's too short not to. I knew things, just like we all at times know things. I felt there was something that was not right, but I stayed. So that was March. This one's August 2nd, 2013. I am committed to us and can't envision my daily life without you. Those are in quotes. How? I'm merely a body that lives in this house, not someone who is acknowledged and given affection or even appreciated. I am committed to us and can't envision my daily life without you. What do you envision? Does it match with what I envision? If not, that is the message that we can't do this anymore. This was slowly becoming the message of life that I wasn't where I was meant to be. And I felt the discomfort, which a lot of us do, but We don't move because we weren't meant to. And when I look back on my life and my origin story, I wasn't meant to because at that time in 2013, I had not had one of the key catalysts of my life that changed everything, which is my daughter. I was a mother of three boys for 16 years, but in 2016, I was now the mother of a girl. And that was the moment when I knew I could no longer stay in that marriage. So here's the next excerpt. It's from July 29th, 2018. The first day of the rest of my life, a book has closed, and now I'm rewriting a new one where the central character is no longer someone else. I've been given a gift to be born again and frame the narrative of my second life. So in 2013, all the way to 2018, the woman who had been writing those notes had no idea where my life was going, that one day I would now be the woman who knows how to sit in the hole and get us out. That's my origin story. That's why I do this work, because I honestly wish someone would have climbed in with me, could have given me some of these tools. But instead, what happened over these 8 years is that I started to figure it out myself. And I had a village, definitely had a village. I'm not saying I wasn't supported, but I definitely didn't have someone who had gone through this step by step, piece by piece, guiding me through it, knowing what I was up against in co parenting, knowing what I needed to keep in my mindset when it came to parenting grown boys into men and a little girl into a little woman. All of those require tools. They require some serious difference in how you think, what you believe, how you move in your life and your actions. So my writing turned into my show, Pain to Power. And in 2022, when I started to now share the stories of others, I built a toolkit for myself. And for the last 5 years, it has helped me to find my way out of the hole and build my own toolkit for others. This year, or really last September, I launched a course called Empowerment Unlocked. And in that course, I take a framework that I have been building through my experiential knowledge of healing from emotional abuse and co parenting with emotional abuse and parenting and just discovering myself through dating and relationships and all the pieces of me. And this framework is all about how we return to come home to ourselves. Because, as I said, the foundation of my work and this show, After the Breaking, is that healing is not about becoming someone new. It's uncovering the person you were before you were told who to be. That beautiful shining light that was dimmed by someone's discomfort or ego. That strong person, woman, man, whoever you are, that knew what was important to you, what you wanted a family to look like, what you wanted love to feel like. All of that exists still. And if you're here with me after the breaking, I can help you continue to get back to that and live in your truth and authenticity. So, return is my framework where we remember those patterns, we examine them. Oh, you know what? Hey, friends, I can actually show you exactly what we're talking about here. here it is. This is it. This is the framework. And I know TikTok friends, you can't see it, but if you go to YouTube, you'll see it. It's right there. We remember who we are. We examine our patterns. We transform them because it starts with your mindset shifts. Your body and your behaviors never change if your beliefs are still staying in the same place. Your beliefs about yourself and your worth, your beliefs about what it is to be a parent, your beliefs about relationships and what they're supposed to be, your beliefs about your own roles in your life, all of that. We have to examine it and we have to transform those mindsets. And then we unlearn our patterns. Those are behaviors to finally reclaim who you truly are, that truth of you without the baggage, without other people's expectations, living free and at peace, finding your way out of the hole. And then we nurture because all of this doesn't just change because you figured out some tools once. Life's going to hit you again. Oh, man, life's going to hit you again, friends. It's hit me like 101 bazillion times. I can't even count how many times in the last 8 years something has come and hit me. And it's from all different directions. But I figured out the tools. And the nurture part is to give myself grace to fall sometimes again and then stand right back up every time a little bit faster than I did before. And nurturing the joy, because joy is how we continue to heal. Smiling, laughing, dancing, singing, doing activities and moving, all of it is part of healing. So, this is the framework I created. This is the work that I do. After the Breaking is a show where I break down and make the invisible patterns that we've held on to visible. And Empowerment Unlocked is the 5-week a 5-week course that I developed to help to guide us in examining some of those patterns and building a safe community and connections to be able to start unlearning them and reclaiming our true selves. And finally, if you want to go even deeper and get to the real work, I coach you one-on-one. All of this is connected on my link tree below. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure that you subscribe, you follow, you like, because here I am. I'm here ready to be in the hole with you because I know how to get out. And follow me. Make sure you subscribe, you like. Here we go. I'm going to show it to you once again. There you go, friends. Subscribe, like, comment, leave a comment. It is free. It is free. Like, you don't take more than a few seconds to just write some words down and tell me, how did this resonate with you? What did you hear that I hit the mark on? And maybe I need some guidance. What else do I need to know? What else do we need to talk about? What else do you want to hear about this season of After the Breaking? Follow me on Substack, where you'll see my writing, on TikTok, where you'll see some of my posts and guidance and just fun stuff because I'm all over social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I am here with you for us to find the power with and get out of the hole. So thank you for joining me today, and continue to heal, continue to find your power, continue to find the tools, and join me as I'm doing the same. Peace, love, and light.